everybody, it's Dr. Kristen here with another edition of Abbey Research Reads. Today we are discussing Dusty Bowling's YA, maybe even middle grade novel called Insignificant Events in the Life of a Cactus. I know, banana pants title for a kind of banana pants book, to be completely honest. So Aven Green is our protagonist, and she is a character without arms. And she tells us the entire book is from her point of view, her first person point of view. And she tells us that she loves to make up, ways that she lost it. She got eaten by an alligator. She lost it in the backwoods of Tanzania. But no, she was just born without them. And in another kind of layer of making Aven a really memorable character, she was also adopted by the parents that we meet her in. So as this book kind of animates, her and her parents move to Stagecoach Pass, which is a fairly derelict amusement park in Arizona. It really sounds like her dad and her mom love working at amusement parks. The one that she describes that kind of she grew up being born at made me think of a place like Kennywood in Pittsburgh or Dorney Park in Allentown, parks in Pennsylvania that are independent, have been around for a while. And he was not really going anywhere in that park. And so he got headhunted to come and run Stagecoach Pass. And so there's a lot of kind of machinations around the process of running a fairly derelict park. But Aven is 11, and we see this whole world through her eyes. School is, of course, kind of hard because it's hard if you have a body that the world accepts as normal, much less if you do not have both of your arms. She makes friends with two other characters who are kind of misfitty. One who has Tourette's. We learn a lot about Tourette's in this book. Tourette's support groups, the different kinds of Tourette's, what can Tourette's be, and then another character whose otherness is his size. He is a fat kid. And the three of them are kind of the social outcasts of their class. And she, as their intrepid leader in a lot of ways, leads them through various adventures. She is convinced that there is a mystery to solve on the grounds of Stagecoach Pass. Turns out, actually, there is, but not quite the one she thought it was going to be. And isn't that the way life always goes? What I absolutely adored about this book was how matter-of-fact it was about all of the intersections that it occupies. I have never considered for more than a fleeting moment of watching a video of Joni Eareckson Tada what life must be like to go through without arms. She's very, very clear that, here are the accommodations I do. Here are the things that are frustrating. This is kind of what I've done. My parents view it this way. One of the running jokes of the book is that she'll never tell us how she wipes herself after the bathroom, but she'll tell us everything else. And she's very clear about these are kind of how I work. And then the process of becoming a friend with somebody who has a challenge like Tourette's. Tourette's is not, honestly, a disorder that appears to be very easy to live with on any level. There doesn't appear to be clear-cut medication or therapeutic services or kind of anything else to help people figure out how to navigate this world in which you lose control over your own body, including your mouth, for various levels of time. And Aven learns what it's like to be friends with somebody who you would like their healing more than they would. She is absolutely convinced, based on her own life, that you can have a normal existence no matter what is your other thing. And her friend doesn't agree with her and doesn't even necessarily want a normal existence and is slightly afraid of kind of the work that would take. His name is Connor, by the way. And Connor is not necessarily interested in doing the work that would require the kind of life that Aven imagines for him. And not through any fault of his own. He's been through a ton of trauma. Life is very hard. His mom is a single mom who doesn't have time to go to things like support groups with him or find them for him. And every time Aven tries to help, he receives it as a judgment upon his mother. That his mother should have done these things. And he's like, no, I'm fine. I'm not going to be anything more stressful for my mom. The dynamics of how you love people is something that's really important to learn in middle school and very important for Aven to learn, as she has been raised with this very pragmatic, everything is possible attitude. And it's important to understand that not everybody is given that gift, nor do they want it. Everybody gets to live the life that they decide to live. And at one point, Connor does choose to start entertaining these ideas and opening himself up to more possibilities of a life that exists outside of his apartment, and that maybe his Tourette's is something that he can control instead of that is controlling him. But it had to be on his terms. Aven tried to drag him kicking and screaming, and it ended up being really traumatic. I also adored that they're very upfront about adoption and special needs adoption. I would use air quotes, but my friend Trisha would never watch this video if I did. But special needs adoption is kind of a category all on its own. Her parents knew that she had no arms. The agency didn't keep that secret from them. And there's a beautiful scene in which her mom explains to Connor why they still wanted Aven and why Aven is who she is, and why the amount of work it took before that they brought her home, the kind of research they did, what it takes to parent somebody whose life isn't exactly what society tells you is normal. And it is a lot of work, but it's not labor. And it's clear that there's a difference in Aven's parents' minds, the difference between work and labor. And they adore her. I really appreciated those frank conversations. I am not special needs on any category. I'm not an adoptee. I have not adopted, but I have friends who have adopted children. And I know the amount of introspection and also just flat out work that they've undergone to make sure that they could always honor their child's birth parents and potentially other heritages or cultures that come with those birth parents than their own. Parenting is always work, and it's always a choice, and I hate that we pretend it's not. I hate that we often, as a society, pretend that it's inevitability, and instead, it's a calling and a choice, and this book demonstrates that beautifully. It's a middle grade, early YA novel, so I read it in an afternoon. It's not exactly visually or linguistically taxing, but if you really let yourself and you wrap yourself in the story of Aven and really think about what it could be to be Aven and live in Aven's world, and what it could be to be Connor or be Connor's mom or be Aven's parents, what would it be like to grow up on a Wild West theme park? Absolutely bananas. Then I think your mind will expand and your empathy will increase. And that's the goal of everything we do here at Abbey Research, is how do we increase our understanding of ourselves and others. And this book is an excellent example of a way to do that. If you loved this content, obviously, I would adore it if you would subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, and then the algorithm will tell other people to watch the show. If you love book reviews, we do a lot of them around here. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to learn more about empathy, subscribe to our sister channel, Abbey Research, where the good doctors, myself and Dr. Erin, have lots of conversations about that. No matter where we see you next, we hope to see you then. Bye.